Well, I think whoever...
We're at the north side of Sallie's crying tree, looking up into the crown. You see several branches were cut off in 2012, creating kind of a hole in the canopy. And right below that area, you see holes made by a squirrel. And there's a crack. The crack stops at a couple knots about 12 feet up, and it also stops right below ground level where we excavated to verify the crack was closed. This is one buttress root that's affected maybe by a lawnmower wound, and we can see it was filled with a brick and other material that I dug out. There's a lightning protection system which seems intact. The ivy's been taken off so we can inspect the buttress and the flares. All the buttress roots are intact aside from that one with the hole, and this small cavity here, 18 inches across, we see wound wood formed around it. Following up the east side of the tree, the trunk is spotless. The first limb toward the house has a black stain where the branch is dipped and cracked a little bit. This is a yellow flag indicating that the branch is too heavy on the ends and needs pruning. And indeed, that's the case for the whole southern part of the tree. These limbs dip quite a bit. We can see the north side of the tree is relatively limbless due to that pruning and maybe due to the competition from the walnuts. So as we continue around to the south side, you see more ivy taken off of the buttresses. This bark was shedding when I got here, but to the mallet it sounds very sound. The sprouts are growing out of the trunk. They should remain. And further up on the west side of the tree, we see two branches have grafted and formed a bridge, and that forms a support system for this big, long, heavy limb, which nonetheless should be pruned. And we're back at the hole again. Looking at the tree from across the parking lot with Dr. Jeff Kerwin at the base and Mr. William Fields inspecting the tree, we can see how imbalanced it is to the south and east, and how those limbs dip down. Be a very easy tree to prune to take a lot of load off and reduce the risk very much of any limb breakage. The buttress roots are so sound, the great majority of them, that I don't think there's any realistic concern about the tree breaking at the bottom.
Well, I thought I did it, but I didn't hear anything.
Well, are the numbers going on top?
Yeah.
Okay. We're here on the west side of the trunk and notice some bark coming off. This is actually a sign of the tree's response growth. Because the tree is imbalanced to the south, when the tree bends to the south and moves around, it puts strain on this area. So the tree has grown this new tissue to fortify the structure here in response to that movement. We call this response growth or adaptive growth. So the fact is, the fact that the older bark is sloughing off is a sign that the tissue inside is growing rapidly, and that's building support for the tree. Okay.